Hey everybody, welcome to a little video on how to make sourdough. This is actually me filming my first time ever doing it. So here's what we do. These are the things you're gonna need. You're gonna need a good bread flour. I use the King Arthur, it's super great. And then some salt. I love the ancient fine sea salt from Redmond. You're gonna need a sourdough starter, more on that in a second. And you're also going to need, my starter's huge. You're gonna need some filtered water. Tap water will kill your yeast or your starter, so don't use tap water, and a bowl. Preferably a large one. This is my starter. She is humongous. I've had her for probably 4 weeks and I've been so afraid to use it. But yeah, she's super happy, super bubbly. I feed her every day. I'll type out how to feed a starter down below in the description. But here we are. The first thing you're going to do is add 50 grams of starter to your bowl. You're gonna need a food scale that measures grams. So right now I am just deflating it a little bit, stirring it, and then I'm gonna scoop in 50 grams with a fork. My tenant downstairs actually walked me through all of these steps, and then I ran upstairs to film it so I wouldn't forget. So yeah, 50 grams of starter, and then you're gonna take your filtered water, and you're gonna do 350 grams of filtered water. I will type out the whole to-do and all of the measurements down below in the description box for you guys. And then you're gonna take your fork, clean it off, and whisk that all together. Don't be afraid to get it super incorporated. I was afraid I was gonna like kill the starter or something, but they're not as delicate as you think they are. So I'm just giving that a good stir together. And next you are going to put your flour in. So I am once again using the King Arthur bread flour. I've heard you can use the all-purpose flour too. So you're gonna do 500 grams of flour. I'm a perfectionist, so I was trying to get it right on the 500 mark. But if you go a little bit above or a little bit under, it's not that big of a deal. And then you're gonna put in about a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of salt. You want a good quality salt. I like the ancient mineral salt because it has obviously minerals. It's beneficial for your body. So then you're gonna take your fork and you're gonna incorporate all of that together loosely. I am a mess in the kitchen, so don't mind seeing the flour flying everywhere. You don't need to do this on your scale. So I moved it out of the way. You're gonna just move this all around, get it mostly incorporated. And once you feel like you've gotten a lot of the super liquidy bits like mixed in well, you can then just kind of get in there with your hand. So clean your fork off, and then you're gonna take all 5 fingers and you're gonna loosely kind of just ball it up and keep going and going until it all gets incorporated well. Once again, don't worry about being too harsh or not delicate enough. Bread is pretty resilient. It's very sticky, so just be aware of that. You could flour your hand before, but I didn't. Then you're gonna grab a shower cap. Yes, I said a shower cap. And put that over. And you are going to let it sit for an hour. And then every hour, you're gonna do this. You're gonna take your little fingers and you're gonna knead it and fold it in on itself. Every hour on the hour until you go to bed. So I started this process at 3 o'clock, like measuring all of the things at 3 p.m. So that meant at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 p.m. I did this process. bread is like easy, but it is not something to do if you're a really impatient person. So you do that every hour on the hour, and then at 9 or 10, whenever you're gonna go to bed, you're gonna leave it to proof overnight. When you wake up in the morning, it's going to look like this, or it should if your starter was good. So it should be like overflowing. So this is the next morning at like 9 o'clock, and you're gonna get your banneton, which is this bowl, or up and to the right, you can see I have another bowl for my second loaf with just a tea towel in it. That works as well. And you're going to take the shower cap off. Don't worry, it kind of sticks to it. That is fine. Your bread baby is totally fine. So take off the shower cap. You can wash and reuse it. And you're gonna do one final kneading. So you're gonna pick it up, look at all those bubbles, how stringy it is. That means the starter was healthy and happy. So you're gonna get it into a ball, and you're gonna plop it into your banneton, just like so. And it's gonna have its final bulk proof. So get it into the shape you want, and then you're gonna sprinkle it with even more flour. And then guess what you're gonna do? You're right, you're gonna cover it. And this time, instead of letting it sit on the counter, you're gonna put it into your refrigerator. Pop it in the fridge at like, I don't know, 9 a.m. And you're gonna let it sit there until right before you wanna bake your bread. So I think I let mine sit until maybe 4 o'clock, 3 or 4. And then after that, you're gonna take it out of the refrigerator, you're gonna flour your surface, and this is the fun part, you get to score your bread. So flour, flour, flour is your friend. Don't be afraid to use too much flour. Here I am adding even more flour to the top of my loaf, and I'm just giving it a gentle massage so that I have a clean slate to work with for scoring, which is where you give your bread a design. I got kind of fancy with it. Mind you, this is my first ever loaf I've ever made. So I'm using a Q-tip, or not a Q-tip, a toothpick, to make some lines on the bread so that I have kind of a guide for when I go in with the razor blade. And it's kind of nice because if you mess up, you can wipe it away really easily. I was super nervous this whole process because, I don't know, I didn't want to mess it up. Here I am going in with a razor blade that I just got from my husband's stash in the bathroom. It's clean, don't worry. And I'm just making a little leaf design on my bread baby. Also, I wanted to note, I did score it too deeply in my opinion, so it broke kind of funny after it cooked. Anyways, now after doing that, you are going to put some parchment paper in your Dutch oven, and then I floured the bottom just because I, once again, was super paranoid and I didn't want it to stick or get messed up. So I floured the bottom of my Dutch oven, but you don't need to do that. And then I used a dough scraper to get it off of the marble, and I transferred her into the Dutch oven, and I just made sure she was snug and ready to go. Put the lid on, and I popped her into the oven at 450 for 50 minutes. And then she wasn't quite brown enough on the top, so I did uncover it for another 3 minutes. And she was the desired color that I wanted. And then you take glamour shots, and then you want to wait at least an hour to cut into your bread. I don't think I waited long enough to cut into it, but here I am, cutting into my first ever loaf, holding my breath. And there you go. Super bubbly. And there you have it. I hope that was easy, and I can't wait to see you guys at the next video. Have a good rest of your day. Bye. it.